All right, so welcome back to another Curated Fridays. As y'all know, I drop these randomly at this point, all right? No set schedule, but at the same time, dropping on a Friday. So today's topic, thought about, very, very common one actually. It was like, what is like one of the biggest things that, I think like, what is one of the biggest things that you should avoid when it comes to trading? One of the biggest things that you should avoid when it comes to trading. Or just like, don't try to encounter this too much, or that kind of thing, right? So, what the hell is that man wearing? Okay, all right, so the biggest thing I would say is never losing respect of a dollar. All right? While you're trading, don't ever lose respect of the money. Because once you do, you'll find yourself losing unnecessary amount of money to the point that it makes no sense because it's money that you could have spent on certain things, right? So, as y'all know, like by now, the currency market, index market, like the crypto markets, all these markets that we pretty much are in some kind of way, like we, it's able to have, I wouldn't say rapid growth, but very, very aggressive profit growth, right? When you first start, obviously, you know, you're not making much because you just don't know what you're doing. But when you do know what you're doing, you know, making $100 a day, $200 a day, $1,000 a day, $5,000 a day, $10K a day, $20K a day, $50K a day, $100K a day. And whenever I say a day, it's not like every single day, but it's like, you know, you pretty much closing that much amount of profit in one day. Like that's what we pretty much mean by that. There's certain times that like I've experienced many times. You know, you always have, like if you're in a trade, you always have your maximum profit or like your highest profit point and what you're open to closing out at, right? Very, very two different things. Like I remember this one time, I was trading and everything else. Like, I mean, I was slapping that. Oh, listen, like whenever I go fucking crazy, I be going crazy, right? So I was up like 300,000. I was having a great week. I was going hard. I was up like $300,000, 300,000, and yeah, like over time you kind of start to lose sense of like what that dollar amount really is. That's a person's 7-year degree plus type salary. You know what I'm saying? 8-year plus type salary in like one trade setup. And then I closed out at 120. Went from 300 to closing out at 120. Look at how much of a difference that really is, though. That's like, what the fuck? $180,000. Just like, I just didn't take off the table. I literally sat there and let it bleed out. I literally sat there seeing that 300,000, 270, 250, 220, 180, 150, 120. I'm like, all right, I'm done. Like, what the hell was I doing to actually really sit there and watch it bleed? I lost respect of the money at that point. I literally sat there and watched $180,000 just go out the fucking window. I could have closed out, boom, like that could have been a great come up for the account and everything. And when that happens, you kind of like have to sit back and realize like, yo, like what that money could have really done. So when you're having like your certain days and that kind of stuff, keep in mind, once you think, like one of my biggest tips on getting past this is once you look at the dollar amount that you're up in profit and you say to yourself like, yo, this is a lot of money, close out. Just cut it. Just cut it immediately. Because after that point, you'll start to convince yourself as to why you need more and more and more and more and more. So it comes to a point that like once that thought even crosses your mind, kill it. Because it only gets worse at that point. You pretty much already start to actually like fiend more for the profit to actually increase higher, when in reality that could have been the highest point of the trade. And regardless of the fact, you can never go broke with closing profit, period. Like you can never ever go broke closing profit. You know, despite it actually, let's say you were in highest profit $5,000 And let's say it did go to $10,000 or even $20,000, like if you actually held it, but you close out at 5K. That 5K is still $5,000. That's somebody's monthly salary. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta kind of like think about things like that, like how much everything costs in your daily life. And if you're letting like rent money just go out the window when you could have closed it, that's an issue. When you're letting money that pretty much could have been spent on like a vacation out the window, that's an issue. When you start letting these big numbers distract you from trying to actually like enjoy the money, that's where things get kind of like, you know, confusing. You know what I'm saying? So you got to always keep in mind, try to write down like how much your monthly expenses are, as far as like item by item, like how much you pay for every single thing throughout the entire month. And as you're making profit inside the market, it's pretty much like mark that off once you make the profit inside the market. So like, let's say if my rent was $3,500, if I make $8,000 inside the market, bum, let me cross off this because I could pay for this with this profit, this, you know what I'm saying? Like you kind of like can mark things off as you're going, and anything extra is just extra income. And I feel like it kind of like makes you keep in mind as to like what's going on, and it's also very important to actually also have a goal in mind at the same time. Like I notice like whenever I go hard inside of markets, I'm trying to actually buy something. I'm trying to actually buy, it could be some kind of investment type thing, it could be a car, it could be just trying to upgrade a compound in some kind of, I'm trying to actually do big upgrades or big purchases to something. So that makes me want to close profit at a certain point. I'm not going to think about it if I'm trying to actually, you know, cross off that goal that I have in mind, because that has to be paid for as well. So as you're going on making profits out of market, try to keep track of, you know, what your overall monetary goal is for what you're trying to buy, but also like trying to tack off things that you have to pay for throughout the entire month. So as you're making profit, you're not letting that bill money, that kind of stuff, or like that expense for the month money go out the window. You know what I'm saying? So whenever like I sit there and let profits just bleed out, I feel sick to my stomach, because there's a lot of times that I know a lot of people do this as well, and people can actually, you know, comment this inside the comments as well, and also agree. You'll sit there and see big profit, take a screenshot, post to Instagram, feel good about it, and then forget about that you're in profit. Forget about that you're even in a trade. You know what I'm saying? Like, and a lot of times, like, I'm not too sure if I'm the only one that actually ever realizes, but like there's certain times that I took a screenshot of a certain profit, and by the time that I go back, it dropped like by even like 5% or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it pretty much dropped a little bit, less than what I posted. And I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not too sure if it's bad juju or something, but at the same time, like it just like, it fucks me over at times, you know? So as you're going through your profits and your journey and everything else, keep in mind, never lose track of a dollar, because once you do, things can go left very, very quickly. And as you go on to make bigger profits, you'll realize how much money you could actually make. And instead of watching the money build and then watching it bleed like right in front of you. Once you think about, damn, this is a lot of money, close. Keep that in mind. If you think about it, if it even crosses your subconscious, yo, this is a lot of money, close. Done the profit, close that position, and open up another position at a better entry point. Cool. You could always add more entries along the way. You could always add another order, but close profit. That's why you're trading in the first place. Don't trade in the first place to the show on Instagram. You're trading in the first place to actually get better in your life. So don't sit there and just like watch everything bleed out the window when it's right in front of your face and right at your fingertips, when you could just take that profit, enjoy that profit, and actually benefit from that profit that you're making each and every single day inside the markets. All right. So that is my Q-tips for this Friday. And I'm gonna holler at y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed this. Go inside the comments, give me some feedback, and I'm gonna holler at y'all on the next one. Peace out.